What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel here from the GeekSpeakNation channel, and I'm here to bring you my spoiler review of Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tale. So, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tale, or Salazar's Revenge, depending on where you live in this world, is the 5th installment of the Pirates franchise. And if you want to see my more general thoughts about the film, my spoiler-free thoughts about this film, then you want to click on the other video that I posted for this movie, my spoiler-free review. Go watch that, and also I gave you the score. But here is the spoiler discussion. I'm not really going to go into the same details. I'm just going to talk about some more specific plot points, get those out of the way, and get some more spoilery thoughts about the film. Really, that's what I'm really here to do. So if you want the score and all that stuff, go check out the other video. So remember, guys, this is spoiler filled. So if you're not trying to have things spoiled for you, guys, click over to the other video, watch the film, or don't. It's really up to you. I have no control over your life. You are an independent, sentient being. But if you go ahead and do that, you're more than welcome to, or stay, whatever. I don't care. Welcome. With that being said, guys, let's talk about Pirates of the Caribbean 5. I think the biggest thing that we just need to get out the way is the returning cast members being back. I think looking at Orlando Bloom was really cool, him being in the film, and Keira Knightley's cameo at the end, even though she didn't say anything, because I guess they really didn't want to pay anybody. But with that being said, I really think Keira Knightley being back and Orlando Bloom being back for that, those moments were really awesome. I do think it's pretty funny though that it's like Orlando Bloom has like hardly aged, and then he just comes up out of the sea looking like gangster dad, like just with the bandana. He's just like, "Son, it's so good to see you, even though I could look like I'm your older brother," you know. I just thought that really was funny. I don't know why he just looked so thugged out to me with his little bandana, but it was nice. It was nice seeing Orlando Bloom there. I had this like geek out moment. I was like, wait, is this another cinematic universe that I really enjoy but I didn't realize? Like when I saw Keira Knightley running out and she had the dress and Orlando Bloom was like, "Ooh," and they're running towards the kiss, I was like, huh, I actually care about these people, and I've been with this franchise since 2003, which is when the first film came out, so I'm actually attached to these people and the things that they've been through, and seeing them reunite, I was like, huh, that actually warmed my heart. That was emotion I really enjoyed. But with that being said, I really enjoyed that element, and although the post-credit scene with Davy Jones, I kind of feel like undermines that, and it's kind of sequel bait and confusing sequel bait, but we'll get into that with the whole curses and stuff like that in Poseidon's Ex Machina. But before we get into that, talking about returning members and Captain Barbossa, I think what they did with his character was interesting. It was almost like it reminds me of what they did with Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy, where you have this character who you give him this much needed emotional depth, but it felt cheated. It felt cheap. And it felt like we as audience members were cheated out of an experience because they decided to kill off those characters. Spoiler alert for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which you can check out my spoiler review for that as well. But yeah, it just felt like those characters were treated the same way, where it's like, oh, well, I don't really know how I feel about this extra layer of emotional depth that felt tacked on because Barbossa's child is the other lead actress. But I was like, okay, I guess I could buy into it, but the moment that was revealed, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna die because we can't have nice things in this world, as movies have shown us. So with that being said, I was just like, I don't know how I felt. I just felt so cheated. Although I do have to say, Barbossa's death was so epic. No matter what you think about these films or this franchise, I honestly think that death was freaking awesome. That's gonna go in top 10 movie character deaths of all time. It was really epic. I mean, it'd probably be like 10 or 9. You know, there's much more, you know, emotional and impactful things. But for spectacle alone, I just thought it was gorgeous. And that's one thing I should have mentioned in my non-spoiler review, and I gotta remember to do things like that and write down notes. But the visual effects department for the Pirates of the Caribbean films have always been great and always been on the cutting edge of things, and it makes me question, how do you film all these things and get all these things done when you're literally miles and miles out of off of shore in the middle of the sea? How do you get these things done? But these guys do an incredible job with the visual effects department. And I saw this movie in IMAX 3D, which you didn't have to. It was just the only showing we had available to go see this film in. But man, what a visually arresting film in some places. And in some places the CGI was a little meh. But either way, you always have to tip your hat off to visual effects departments for films. These guys work so hard and put in countless hours to make these visuals happen for movies, and we just got to give our props and our respects to them because they did a darn fine job with this film and the effects that went into it. But as I was saying, that was tying into the death of Barbossa, which I felt was a little cheated, and the whole entire aspect of him having a child. And the setup for that felt a little forced, and it just felt like you were just pulling the rug under us just because you couldn't think of anything else. But with that being said, guys, moving on to looking at everything else with this film, I think this film plays the same bad habit that all the other Pirates of the Caribbean films do, which is they set rules for themselves and they act like these rules are so strict for how things are supposed to happen, and then they just kill the rules. They just say, screw it, you know what, we're making up rules last minute in the third act. The whole entire thing with them trying to find the Poseidon's trident, it was just so contrived, and it was just like, okay, I guess these are the rules, and you have to use the map that no one can ever read. The map. I'm like, okay, guys, the map that no one can read. Fantastic. What else? This is like the 9 pieces of 8 in the original, like in the third film. You know, it's just like, why are we doing this to ourselves, people? Why are we doing this? But nevertheless, I still think that it was just so annoying. It was so annoying because when you get to the final act and they're trying to build up all this tension, and then you have the whole entire puzzle that's been going on, like, you must divide the sea in 2, and then knock off Will Turner and the chick with the eyes, they look at each other and they're just like, we gotta cut it in half. We gotta cut the trident in half. I'm like, what? Yeah, I guess. And then they have this inexplicable line where they say, oh my god, where they just say, all the curses of the sea can be broken if you just cut the trident in half. Boy, when was this established? And the screenwriters are just like, screw it, we gotta give a reason for how Will Turner is not in this last fight, but is nowhere near the Poseidon's thing, but we gotta end all curses. This is the curse to end, this is the treasure to end all curses, alright? The war to end all wars. Alright, that's how they were treating it randomly in the final act. And it's just, I hate it when they create rules for themselves and act like these rules are so die hard, but then with the blood moon and all that crap, but then they just completely abandon the rules in the third act because they need to finish the film. It's so annoying, and they do it in every single Pirates film. And tying that the curse to end all curse, the trident to end all curses element back into talking about Orlando Bloom's character, it just doesn't make any sense, because why would you bring back Davy Jones if the curses have been lifted and the Dutchman's gone, but you say the Dutchman needs a captain, and the captain's heart has to be cut out into the chest, and the chest has to be buried on land or maybe on the ship. It's too much, and it needs to stop. I can't take it with all these rules and these things that they break immediately. It makes no sense. The more I think about this film, the more it frustrates me, and it makes me want to lower my score. But nonetheless, it's not like I didn't have a good time. I did. I had an enjoyable popcorn film time watching this movie, despite the wacky mythology. But with that being said, guys, those are really my thoughts, spoiler-wise, on Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Let me know what you thought, spoiler-wise, about Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tale in the comment sections down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What elements do you really want to discuss? We can get as in-depth as we want to about this. I really am excited to see Orlando Bloom back. I didn't realize how much I missed him in this franchise, which is crazy to think, because sometimes I just completely hated his character and the way they acted and the way they wrote him. But that's a whole other shebang. I really should do a video about the Pirates franchise. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all your support. If you enjoyed this video, go down there, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike button. And if you're new here and you want to see more content like this, maybe subscribe. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I've been Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.